What if, one ordinary morning, you decided to step back, not by slipping out of town or vanishing into the ether, but by quietly loosening the invisible cords that bind you to others? Imagine it. The soft clatter of your spoon against a ceramic mug, the distant hum of traffic seeping through your window, and a choice settling into your bones like a long-forgotten melody. You choose to disconnect, not out of anger or bitterness, but because a quiet voice inside you craves solitude, a moment to sit with your own thoughts. Have you ever wondered what tremors such a decision might send through the lives of those around you? This isn't about running away. It's about the subtle act of pulling inward, of whispering to yourself, I need space to be me. Most people don't get it. They see it as a betrayal, a crack in the fragile web of connection. But distance, my friend, carries a strange, almost magnetic power. It's like extinguishing a candle in a shadowed room. The sudden darkness reveals shapes you never noticed. When you step away, you don't just leave a gap, you disrupt a delicate balance. That void isn't just empty, it's a mirror, reflecting truths others have long dodged. Let me tell you about Amara, a 34-year-old graphic designer who felt this tug. Amara was everyone's rock. Friends called her at 2 a.m. to unravel their heartaches, colleagues leaned on her to mediate workplace spats, and her family expected her to host every Thanksgiving, her kitchen filled with the scent of sage and laughter. She was a beacon, steady and warm. But one crisp autumn evening, as she walked through a park, leaves crunching under her boots, a hollowness bloomed in her chest. I'm pouring myself out, she thought, but who's refilling me? That night, she made a quiet vow. She stopped replying to every text, said no to invitations, and carved out evenings for herself, sketching by lamplight, reading poetry, or simply listening to the hum of her own breath. She didn't vanish physically, but emotionally she stepped back, and the world around her began to shift. Amara's absence was subtle, like a breeze nudging a house of cards. Her best friend, Nora, felt it first, a sharp pang when Amara's phone went unanswered. Nora, 33, was used to Amara's warmth, her ability to listen without judgment. Without it, Nora felt unmoored, like a kite cut loose in a storm. She didn't miss Amara's coffee dates or quick wit. She missed the version of herself she saw in Amara's eyes, confident, understood, whole. Amara's step back forced Nora to face a question she'd buried. Who am I when no one's reflecting me? This is the strange alchemy of stepping away. It's not about abandoning others. It's about reclaiming yourself, and in doing so, exposing the hidden scaffolding others have built around you. Your absence doesn't just create a hole. It shines a light on what that hole reveals. And that's where the story unfolds. When you step away, you don't just leave a void. You shatter a mirror. People don't see you as you are. They see you as they need you to be. You're the canvas for their doubts, the stage for their unspoken hopes, the anchor for their fragile sense of self. When you withdraw, that canvas goes blank, and they're left staring at a fractured reflection. It's not your presence they grieve. It's the version of themselves they can no longer project onto you. Picture Elias, a 42-year-old high school teacher who decided to take a sabbatical from his close-knit community. Elias was the glue in his circle, planning book clubs, mentoring new teachers, and always ready with a quip to ease tense staff meetings. His deep laugh and steady advice made him a cornerstone, but at 40, he felt stretched thin, like a canvas pulled too tight. I'm everyone's anchor, he told his sister one evening, stirring a pot of chili in his warm kitchen. the air thick with cumin and tomatoes. But I'm losing me. So he stepped back, not out of resentment, but to rediscover himself. He took a 6-month leave, rented a cabin by a lake, and spent his days writing poetry and casting lines into the water, the ripples mirroring his thoughts. The impact was seismic. His colleague, Lila, 38, felt it most. Lila relied on Elias's encouragement to navigate her role as department head. Without his morning chats, she unraveled, snapping at her team and doubting every choice. She told herself she was mad at Elias for abandoning them. But late at night, scrolling through old texts, she saw the truth. Elias's presence had been her shield, a buffer against her fear of failure. His absence forced her to face that fear, and it was raw, like touching a live wire. This is the unsettling reality. Your absence doesn't hurt because of who you are to others, but because of what they can no longer hide. When you step away, you strip away their illusions. They're not mourning you. They're mourning the stability they leaned on. That grief twists into a kaleidoscope of emotions: unease, anger, guilt, fear. But above all, it's a question they avoid. What's left of me without you? Let's linger on Lila. She wasn't just Elias's colleague. She was someone who hid her insecurities behind a polished facade. Growing up, she'd been the perfect child, always meeting her parents' expectations. Elias's steady presence echoed that safety. She could be flawless in his eyes. When he left, that safety dissolved, and she felt exposed, like a singer forgetting her lines mid-performance. Her anger at Elias wasn't about his sabbatical. It was about the mirror he'd held up, now broken, forcing her to see her own cracks. The void you leave isn't just a gap. It's a force, primal and deep. It's not a clean cut or a pain with a name. It's an echo reverberating through someone's psyche, stirring shadows they've ignored. When you step away, you awaken something they feel in their bones, even if they can't name it. That's what makes your absence so potent. Consider Zara, a 29-year-old barista with a gift for making everyone feel seen. Zara remembered every customer's order, their quirks, their stories. Her bright smile and quick banter were the pulse of the coffee shop. But at 27, she felt drained, like a riverbed baked dry. She loved her work, but the constant giving left her empty. One spring, she stepped back, not by quitting, but by taking a quieter role, roasting beans in the back instead of working the counter. She needed space to breathe, to rediscover the girl who used to scribble poems in her notebooks. The regulars felt it instantly. One, Henry, a 55-year-old retired accountant, felt her absence like a blow. Henry came to the shop daily, not just for coffee, but for Zara's warmth. She'd ask about his garden, tease him about his crosswords, and make him feel like he still mattered. Without her, the shop felt cold, the coffee flat. Henry told himself he was disappointed, but deeper down, it was fear. Zara's presence had tethered him to a sense of belonging. Without it, he faced his loneliness, the quiet ache of a life spent in routine. This is the mystery of absence. It doesn't just disrupt, it reveals. The emotions others feel vary. Some, like Henry, feel sadness, a longing for what was. Others, like Lila, feel anger, a mask for vulnerability. A few might feel resentment, calling your choice selfish, but the truth? They don't fully know what they feel, because the void you leave is shapeless. It's a fog, seeping into the cracks of their emotional walls, exposing what they've hidden. Let's meet Felix, a 45-year-old regular at Zara's shop. Felix, a carpenter who'd lost his wife 2 years ago, found solace in Zara's small gestures, her remembering his latte order, slipping him a free muffin on rough days. When Zara stepped back, Felix didn't complain like Henry. He stopped coming, retreating to his workshop with a scent of sawdust and the hum of tools drowned out the silence. But late at night, sanding a table, he'd wonder, why does her absence feel like losing her again? Zara's withdrawal forced Felix to face his grief, the fear that he was running out of reasons to connect. When you step away, people start to rewrite you. They craft a story about your absence, not to understand you, but to make sense of themselves. You become a character, a hero, a traitor, a ghost, but rarely the real you. This isn't about truth, it's about survival, a way to fill the void with something they can bear. Take Amara again. When she stepped back, Nora didn't just miss her, she reimagined her. At first, Nora idealized Amara, recalling her as the perfect friend, the one who always knew what to say. She'd replay their late-night talks, Amara's laugh unraveling her worst days, and feel guilt. I didn't value her enough. But as weeks passed, Nora's story shifted. She saw Amara's withdrawal as selfish, a betrayal. "She's not who I thought," Nora told a friend over wine, her voice sharp. The truth? Amara hadn't changed. Nora was wrestling with her own dependence, reshaping Amara to ease the sting. This is universal. People don't just react, they evolve. At first, it's raw, denial, anger, confusion. They'll come back, they say, or I don't need them. But as time stretches, the void becomes abstract, a canvas for doubt. They wonder if they truly knew you, or if they projected their needs onto you. That uncertainty gnaws because your departure isn't just a loss, it's a loss of control. You've broken a pattern, and broken patterns breed chaos. Revisit Elias. His community didn't just miss him, they rewrote him. Some colleagues painted him as a dreamer, worthy of awe. Others, like Lila, called him unreliable, a deserter. Enter Tessa, a 30-year-old student teacher who admired Elias. Tessa was shy, still finding her place in the classroom, and Elias's mentorship had given her courage. When he left, she felt betrayed but kept it quiet. Instead, she journaled, her pages stained with coffee rings. In her words, Elias became a symbol of freedom she envied but couldn't chase. Her narrative wasn't about his sabbatical, it was about her own fear of risk, projected onto his choice. The irony? While others rebuild their world without you, you're on your own path. Stepping away isn't simple, it's brave, a leap into the unknown. You're not just creating distance, you're choosing yourself, even when others won't understand. And that choice, though freeing, can be daunting. Your absence isn't just a disruption, it's a spark. When you step away, you trigger a process others can't stop. It starts with denial. It's temporary, they say, or it doesn't matter. But beneath that, doubt takes root. Did I push them away? Did I value them enough? Those questions grow, branching into anxiety, reflection, and for some, growth. Your departure forces others to redefine themselves without you, and that's where transformation begins. Return to Zara. Her step back didn't just affect Henry and Felix, it rippled through the coffee shop. Regulars started talking more, forming new bonds in her absence. Henry began chatting with Felix over their shared love of puzzles. At first, it was clumsy. Two men used to Zara's warmth, now fumbling to connect. But over weeks, they built a quiet friendship, swapping stories. Henry realized he didn't need Zara to feel seen. he could find belonging elsewhere. Felix, too, began to heal, finding solace in small moments Zara's absence had nudged him toward. This is the paradox. While your absence may hurt, it can also be a gift. By stepping back, you show others they can stand alone, even if they don't see it yet. Your withdrawal reveals the truth of many relationships. Not all are built on love, but on habit or unspoken needs. When you break those dynamics, you don't just free yourself. You give others a chance to grow, to face what they've avoided. Reflect for a moment. Have you stepped away from someone, felt their reactions wait, and wondered if you were right? Or has someone left you, leaving you to navigate the void? Either way, know this: your peace isn't theirs to hold. Stepping away isn't abandonment, it's honoring yourself. Sometimes the greatest love is letting others find their strength. Pause and write this down. The void doesn't define me, it frees me. Feel it, say it, let it settle. If this resonates, share it in a comment, a note, or a quiet moment. And if you crave more truths that challenge and transform, stay with me. There's more to uncover. But what happens when the void you leave doesn't just stir emotions, it reshapes lives? Your choice to step away isn't a single moment. It's a pebble tossed into a still pond, sending ripples that touch distant shores. Those ripples don't fade, they grow, becoming waves that carve new paths, for better or worse. This is the deeper legacy of your absence. It doesn't just reveal truths, it sets stories in motion. Meet Lila, a 50-year-old librarian who stepped back from her family's demands. Lila had spent decades as the peacemaker, resolving her siblings' disputes and hosting every reunion in her book-filled home, her warm voice weaving stories that bound them together. But at 48, she felt trapped. "I'm living for them," she wrote in her journal, the pages crinkling under her pen. "When do I live for me?" So she made a bold choice. She stopped hosting, stopped mediating, and started taking solo weekend trips, sketching old barns and savoring the freedom of her own company. The impact was profound. Her brother, Owen, 44, felt it most. Owen, a lawyer with a polished exterior, leaned on Lila's steadiness to navigate family tensions. Without her, he floundered, angrily calling her selfish during a tense call. But as months passed, Owen reflected. Lila's absence forced him to step up, to listen to his siblings himself. One evening in his study, the glow of his lamp casting shadows on his books, he realized Lila's withdrawal was a challenge. She'd trusted him to find his strength, and he felt capable for the first time. This is the alchemy of absence. It transforms not just you, but the lives around you. Lila's choice didn't just free her, it nudged her family toward new dynamics. Her siblings started connecting directly, sharing stories over coffee without her orchestration. They didn't just adapt, they grew, finding resilience they hadn't known. And Lila, she found herself by a river, her sketchbook open, the water's murmur weaving through her thoughts. Her absence wasn't an end, it was a beginning. But not every ripple brings growth. Owen's sister, Grace, 47, felt Lila's absence as a betrayal. Grace, a single mother with a demanding job, relied on Lila's warmth to feel grounded. Without it, she withdrew, canceling family plans and diving into work. Her resentment lingered, a quiet ache. Grace's story reminds us that absence doesn't always spark change. Sometimes, it deepens wounds for those unready to face their needs. This is the final truth. Your absence is a force, unpredictable and profound. It can shatter illusions, spark growth, or deepen pain. But above all, it reminds you that you're not just a mirror or a crutch, you're a catalyst, a spark that sets stories in motion. So, when you feel the urge to step away, don't fear the void. Embrace it. It's not just your freedom, it's the start of a story that echoes beyond you.